But perhaps you should just talk about the rollout into rural areas, how it's decided, and just so people can understand. You might live in some small town in our province, but we can assure you we are really determined to get vaccines to every single citizen across this province. But let's talk about how that rolls out.
I think, Premier, this is probably, as I said earlier, one of the most important reasons why we're taking this clearly deliberate scaling up strategy. It's the fairness to the people living in the rural towns. So as you say, we brought online during last week 6 sites in rural towns, and it was mainly to go to old age homes, test their systems with small numbers. But as of tomorrow, there is a very clear strategy that we are opening sites across all 5 districts outside the metro. And these numbers are, during the course of the week, we are bringing online 9 sites in Central Karoo. Now, it's not only Beaufort West. Beaufort West was open last week. But in addition to Beaufort West, there is 8 additional sites in Central Karoo. Now, you can imagine that is the towns, the surrounds, and that's what the team have selected. For each of the others, now I'm going to go to Garden Route first. For Garden Route, there are 18 places that will be brought online. They start, obviously, not all 18 together. So they will start with about 12 and then move to the other 6, but that is the way they do it. For Overberg, for Cape Winelands, and for West Coast, there's an excess of 20 places each that will be brought online. And the teams that has been working in each of those districts will obviously choose the bigger towns. They will do it systematically, but also they have a spread of smaller towns where they actually go in as well. So the local media will be sharing over this coming week exactly which site in which town will come online. I know there's a lot of people that wrote to me as well and say everything is in a metro, and I could answer to say, well, on Monday, this will happen in your town. So that will be communicated town by town, area by area. And the idea is that we also then have mainly encouraging people, because now the appointment slots will also open in those towns. So, for instance, in Worcester, people will be able to start getting their appointments now via the EBDS system in Worcester, and they will go to the site in Worcester. The same will apply to Hermanus, the same will apply to Paul, to George, and all Beaufort West. Up the West Coast in Malmesbury, they're starting, and then they go to the other towns, and Caledon and all of those. So there are going to be this systematic way, the same system that we've just described for the metro, where there is an appointment given to somebody, they are assigned to the site. And I think the key thing there, Premier, is where people have obviously registered in bigger numbers and registered first, it would be, that's the teams have closely watched that, and they're bringing sites with capacity online, again, with vaccination stations, so that the slots can open, so that the appointments is more available, so that more SMSs can be sent in that area.
And private sector, public sector, rural rollout?
Yes, so the same will apply as we described in the metro. More and more click sites will also come on board, pharmacy sites, hospital sites, private hospital sites, and then other private sites through community pharmacies will also become part of that. And it's exactly the same system. So as the site becomes online, there will also be the same scheduling done as the slots become more predictable, and that is then the same system. So therefore, the system that we've designed is not a system for the city. This is a system for the whole province.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.